It is time for Beelzemon to make a comeback once again in the most updated and current BT10 and EX03 format. Just before we get started with the video, I got something really cool to share with all you guys. If you haven't watched our newest Battle of series, then be sure to check that out as well. In our latest Battle of Cross Encounter episode, we spiced things up, where Sam and I actually partnered with each other for a tag team battle against our friends this time. This gave us a chance to showcase you guys a larger variety of decks in action, so be sure to check it out after this video too. Links will be included on the top right iCard and in the description box down below, so I'll see you guys there. Hello Digimon players and fans, welcome back to another brand new Digimon Deck Profile and in-depth building guide video. I'm super happy to learn that the Beelzemon Deck Profile video is one of my most popular videos on the channel, and I'm very glad that many of you guys enjoy it, and I thank you for watching it as well. Like I promised for my last Beelzemon video, it is time for an update. The last time we talked about Beelzemon was during BT9, and the build was very different because it mainly focuses on purple hybrids. Now that we've received a good amount of new support from BT10, I just felt that it was the right time to bring the original deck back together for an upgraded version, and to adapt to the current format as well. With the introduction of Wizardmon from the BT9 promo pack, as well as Baalmon and a whole new Beelzemon from BT10, we can now diversify our combos other than the linear strategy which we had when it first came out in EX02. And like always, I'll be showing you guys some of the newer and cooler combos that you could do with all these cool cards. So let's just go right into the deck profile first. Okay, for Digi-Egg cards, like usual, we got the 4 copies and the 1 copy of different Pagumons. One being the Starter Deck 6, very simple on deletion, you get to trash the top 2 cards of your deck. And then the BT2 one lets you trash 1 card from the top of your deck when attacking. It's also not once per turn, so it's great. Synergizes very nicely. They both really want to help you mill cards. That's what it's all about. So 5 eggs is totally okay because both Pagumons are just super good. So for the rookies, we definitely got the 4 copies of the EX2 Impmon. This one's just still one of the better ones, the really best ones, I would say, because, you know, hard play, you get to search for cards, search for pieces that you need, grabbing yourself Iron Mako, grabbing yourself a Beelzemon, and also gives you the inheritable of your Beelzemon extra 3000 DP, which is very helpful and very crucial in many instances. I think I mentioned this before, but did you guys know there's actually going to be a Beelzemon starter deck coming in next year? Apparently this is just not any starter deck. As a matter of fact, it's actually called an advanced deck set. The whole idea behind that is that so that you have all the tools and the best cards to begin playing competitively right out of the box with one single copy. We'll be getting a full new set of Beelzemon support cards along with really good reprints as well. And of course, I'm 100% will be covering the deck as soon as it comes out. And if you guys just can't wait and want to see more Beelzemon content, then be sure to hit that subscribe button right now, turn on that notification bell to stay tuned. And like always, I really appreciate it if you guys can give this video a like because it really helps and support the channel. And let's just get back right into the video. And then we got 4 copies of the BT2 Impmon. This one's the one that you always want to be digivolving your egg for sure so that you can swing as quickly as possible. On deletion, milling 3 cards from the top of your deck. It's just very nice, great synergy with the Pagumon. Once again, we just need to mill as fast as possible. So definitely 4 copies there. And then now we got 2 copies of the BT6 one. This one's just really nice as a sort of like a tech every now and then. We don't have to see it as often other than having Impmon in its name, which does synergize with some of our strategies. But other than that, we can recur resources, grabbing ourselves a 7 Great Demon Lords back from our trash, meaning that we can grab our Beelzemons back when we need to if we are not finding them. And yeah, just really good too. Then for the Floodgate type of rookies, I got 2 Gazis and 1 Psychmon right here. 2 Gazis, just really good for memory blocking, which is more common in most decks. And then we have Psychmon to combat against any hard play cost reduction, mainly being cross-heart related decks, but also just pretty good to counter Def X if we ever anticipate going against any. So yeah, that's it for the rookies. Nothing too different from last time in most cases, I think, in terms of rookies, but the champions, level 4s, and then the level 5s, you know, these are some of the major changes. The first biggest newest addition, which we got from BT9, and haven't got a chance to talk about it here, but we finally get to, which is really cool, with the inclusion of this brand new Wizardmon. This Wizardmon, you can get it from the promo for BT9 as a box topper, and he's just really good because when this card is trashed from your deck, you gain a memory. So really helping you combo and synergize greatly with your milling strategies, but not only that, it has a very good inheritable, which helps the deck a lot. When attacking, not once per turn, you may review one purple card from your hand and place it on top of your deck. So meaning that you can actually set yourself up for combos and different effects that get milled along with this inheritable, which is why it's so good. And you definitely want to play 4 copies of, because he gives you value no matter what happens. If he gets milled, you gain memory. If not, you can digivolve and get great inheritables with him whatsoever. So definitely a really good card that you must include a 4 of. Then we have 3 Dobermons. Dobermons is just still really, really good. I really like this card because on deletion, you get to mill more, but then you get to grab stuff back. Very similar idea with the Impmon that we have, where you can just grab things back. There's a lot of grabbing resources back here in this deck, which is really, really good because it helps so that when you're milling stuff, you may sometimes mill stuff that you don't want to be seeing in your trash, and then you can get them back with Dobermon. Then we got 2 copies of Lowy. Great for hybrid for game. We do this very, very often. This is actually sometimes part of our winning strategies, and this card has won me so many games. But yeah, 2 is definitely a good amount. Okay, that's it for our level 4s. Now let's talk about our level 5s, where we just only play one singular type of card, where we have the 4 copies of Baalmon. Baalmon is a brand new inclusion from BT10 to help support Beelzemon, and it's just super good because when attacking, you get to trash top 3 cards of your deck, once again helping you cycle and mill. But also very nice is because it has its on deletion effect. If you have 10 or more cards in your trash, which this deck is very easy to fulfill, you can play a Beelzemon from your trash without paying any memory cost, which is so good. And he applies so much pressure by himself as just as a level 5, and I think this is the perfect level 5 to be playing in the deck. He doesn't provide any inheritables, which is kind of unfortunate, which I wish it did to help Beelzemon a little bit more, but yeah, him alone, a great new addition for the level 5 for Beelzemon for sure. So that's it for level 5s. Let's talk about our level 6s. We still definitely want to play 4 copies of this EX2 Beelzemon, simply because he is so good when it comes to milling quickly as well. Not once per turn effect is just really good. And also being able to do it when digivolving and when attacking, and you can mill a lot of things. But not only that, when he gets milled, you get to play Impmon back from trash as well, giving you a lot of cycling and whatnot. So once again, this Beelzemon is 100% a 4 of for sure. Honestly, the Beelzemon lineup hasn't changed too much overall. We do play this BT21 simply because we can warp into it when we need to. This one we don't need as many of. Warping is nice sometimes, but for memory is quite a bit to pay, and we get to pop a level 4. But overall, it's just also a very nice card to have, and you know, not having to play that many copies is not that necessary. Once again, we do have recursion from the trash to help us get it back if it ever does end up there. Now, the other reason is because we actually need to save room for this brand new Beelzemon. This one right here from BT10. This was basically the support that comes out along together from the Baalmon we have. First and foremost, he can digivolve for 3 on top of level 5 with cross-artist traits, ignoring its color requirements. However, this deck is all about Beelzemon and purple anyway, so it's totally fine in terms of synergy. Now, on play /when digivolving, you can trash the top 3 cards of your deck. Then, for every 10 cards in your trash, you can delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. Very nice for, you know, popping wide boards. And simply because currently it's a very wide meta, this card has come in so many clutch times where you can just like pop so many things in one go, especially in this deck, which is very, very nice. And also it provides an inheritable of end of attack once per turn. For every 10 cards in your trash, you gain 1 memory back. And this Beelzemon actually now synergizes very greatly with its inheritable because we do have blast mode. Doing the blast mode combo now is so much more smoother and so much more better, and you can even retain your turn afterwards because of that. And once again, I'll show you guys the new combo once we get into it later, but you definitely still want to be playing 3 blast modes. Great for milling because when you do get to mill this card, you can pop one of your opponent's level 4 or lower. Very great early game control, and you always want to be seeing this card in your trash. When digivolving, then you delete all of your opponent's highest level as well, and then having security +1 for every 10 cards in your trash, 15 KDP, super strong Digimon, and you just always want to be turboing this into this guy because he is the boss Digimon of the deck. Super cool card still though. Then we have 1 copy of DefX. I know A lot of you guys are probably sick of seeing this card, but it's just so good of a card, right? You have to include it, at least as a one-off. And it just simply just makes sense because this is a purple deck and it just combos very nicely with the whole strategy overall. Def X is just great for combating against all those wide boards, wide Tamers decks type of thing. It's basically a good staple. That's all I can say. Then that's it for all of our Digimon. Let's talk about our Tamers. You still need 4 copies of I Am Mako because it's super crucial. You want to see them as consistently and as much as possible. And because you're milling, you do risk milling them. And it's actually really important that you guys establish my I Am Mako as soon as possible during the early stages of the game so that you don't get memory choked, but also you can, set up easily for your combos. Once your combo's ready to go, I Am Mako is being a huge, important, vital piece for it to fulfill for those plays. So yeah, you definitely, again, 4 copies is a must no matter what. That's it for all our Tamers. Here we have 4 copies of Death Slinger. Just like Wizardmon, when you mill it, you gain a memory, which is fantastic, but also deleting level 4 or lower Digimons. And for every 10 cards you have in trash, you increase the level by 1 on your opponent's Digimon that you get to delete. And this is just super good. Once again, you can easily delete level 5s, level 6s. It's very easily achievable. And for the 4 cost, very memory efficient, such a good card, and security, you activate the main effect. So this is your defensive bomb as well. Last but not least, we got 4 copies of Miss Memory Boost. We also know how good this card really is, synergizing with trashing, and then we get to draw 1, cycle pieces, set up our trash. Once again, delay to gain more memory to make even more plays is really what this card is all about, and you definitely once again want to maximize this at 4 copies because it's a super good starting card for you as well. Okay, so that'll be it for the 50 card main deck. Let's show you guys some other cards that you can actually consider. I don't have a whole lot because I'm actually really happy with the deck overall it has been so far, but there's some cards that you guys might want to add and include if you don't have Def Xmon or don't have access to Def Xmon. Here are some really good suggestions you guys can consider. First of all, of course, is increasing the counts of some of the level 4s or level 3s or rookies or even like another blast mode, if you will. But otherwise, Def the Cannon is a really, really good card to include. This is like the new Beelzemon's signature move. You basically, when it trashed from your deck, you get to add it back to your hand. So it's always a very nice card no matter what. Main, you delete one of your opponent's level 6 or lower Digimon, and if there's 10 or more cards in your trash, you get to add 1 more to the maximum level that you can delete with this effect, meaning that you can delete something that's level 7. So it's really good for high and top removal. The only downside I think about is that 8 cost is a little bit too expensive. I felt like it would be a bit more fair if it's a 7 cost or whatnot. So that's why I didn't include it, but it's definitely still a decent card to have for sure because it's a great security bomb too. Then we have One Calling from the Darkness, simply because I love this card a lot, but I just can't find room to fit it inside here. So if you guys once again don't have Def Xmon, this is definitely a very good add to add back in because you can just recycle your pieces. You mill so much, and I personally just felt like, I have Impmon and I have Dobermon. There's pretty much good enough recursion that I need. And again, I just really want to turbo into fast and quickly. I rarely use this card, I realize, when I play the deck, so that's just my personal take on it, which is why I end up taking it out. But again, I will not argue that this is a really good card that you definitely want to consider adding and including in your deck as well. Okay, so now that we talked about all the cards, let's showcase you guys the combos of this deck. Now, there's actually a lot of combos to go through, and I covered a lot of the core combos in my first Beelzemon Deck Profile video, and a lot of them are still very relevant with the playstyle. So if you guys haven't watched that yet, be sure to check that out first to learn those combos because I want to spend more time to focus more on the newer combos here instead. So we're going to be talking a lot about Baalmon and the new Beelzemon combo instead. So let's just go in straight for it. Let's first hatch your egg. You want to be digivolving ideally your Impmon that has the inheritable, and then you digivolve your Wizardmon to give it a very nice inheritable as well, and then you'll be going into your Baalmon here. So there's a lot of ways to bring out your Beelzemon now. There's newer ways as well, but at the same time, like I mentioned earlier, I Am Mako is super crucial, so you want to be setting them up early on. Now, let's first go with the more traditional way of going about this combo. You start your memory at 3, your opponent puts you to 3, because with I Am Mako, you push out to your Baalmon, and then you can digivolve into your brand new Beelzemon right here. Now, also very important to make sure that, of course, your blast mode is in your trash, so you can bring him out with I Am Mako afterwards. So here, you paid 3. So what you can do is you can swing at your opponent's security, spend Ayamako to mill the top card of your deck. Now, before you do this, you have a brand new inheritable with Wizardmon. Now, this is where you can really nicely set things up. These are the cards that you want to be seeing in your hand along with Wizardmon. Now, of course, depending on the situation, depending on the board state or what you're trying to achieve, you'll be wanting to, put one of these cards back on the top of your deck so that you can trash it with Iron Mako, and then you can continue and play onwards. Now, Wizardmon and Deathsling is very straightforward because you'll gain the memory back if you do so, and then Beelzemon will grab you Impmon back. But for this case, let's just say, let's put a Wizardmon on top of our deck, when attacking with Wizardmon. Now we suspend Ayamako. We'll basically trash the top card of our deck. Oh, it's a Wizardmon, so we actually gain a memory back there. Of course, before doing so, you have to resolve Ayamako's effect. So resolve Ayamako's effect, which lets you Digivolve for 3 on top of your Beelzemon into the Baalmon. Now, Baalmon will do its thing as well, like, nuking the board, if whatever. And before you go for the security checks, Wizardmon will be here, so you gain that memory back, and very likely you're going to have a lot of cards in your trash anyways as well. So you're going to go for the security checks and whatnot, and then the end of attack comes in with the Beelzemon inheritable. End of attack once per turn. For every 10 cards in your trash, you gain a memory. So if you have 10 already, you'll definitely be gaining another memory back. If you have 2, then you gain another memory back, and sometimes you might even have 30 cards in your trash, so you can actually gain the whole 3 memory back and retain your turn at 1 or at 0 if you didn't have Wizardmon or whatnot. So that's really the whole combo on what it is all about. Now, that's just the full-fledged combo. Next up, let's rewind back here at Baalmon, and you're at 3, and you have like lots of options here. With Baalmon, the other way to do this is you can swing at your opponent's security, and maybe it gets deleted. If it doesn't, then that's fine. If your opponent deletes it or whatnot, if it ever gets deleted in general, basically, you get to bring a Beelzemon back from your trash. Now, keep in mind, you can't bring Blast Mode, so it has to be, one of the 3 Beelzemons here. So once again, you can actually bring, like, say this one, these 2 are usually your most ideal ones, being the BT10 one, because on play it does trash the top 3 cards of your deck, and then for every 10 you can pop level 4. So you want to be bringing this guy out usually. If not, you can bring this guy out as well. This guy doesn't do too much because it's when digivolving. This one has a when attacking, so if you get deleted during your opponent's turn, you can bring it out, and then you can utilize it the next turn and whatnot. But anyways, enough rambling about the different kinds of Beelzemons. Let's just say you bring this one out. Now, of course, it doesn't have rush or whatever, but it has its on-play effects, so you can do a whole bunch of crazy things as well with it. And then if you ever want to, you might just want to just hard digivolve it for 6, and then you can blast mode and delete stuff like that. So lots of versatility. Baalmon gives you that new layer of funness to play around with in the deck as well, which is why Baalmon is super crucial, because depending on when it's getting deleted, whether it's your turn or your opponent's turn, you can really be creative with your plays. And this is why I definitely really like Baalmon and how you can play Beelzemon overall. That will conclude for my very own deck building strategy and in-depth guide for the Beelzemon Deck Profile video for the BT10 and EX03 format. If you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful, please give it a like. If you have any suggestions, recommendations, or questions, be sure to share it with everyone in the comments down below. Overall, Beelzemon has always been such a fun and cool way to play Digimon. The milling strategy is one of the fastest ways to set up your trash to go for your combos, and very unique to the Beelzemon archetype itself as well. Although some people may say that the deck is very luck based, as it's kind of high rolly and it depends on what you mill, but that is exactly where the excitement comes from when you play it. When you mill the best cards that you need, you're rolling and you're on fire and you just can't stop. But that'll wrap up for the video for today. If you guys want to see more BT10 and EX03 deck profiles, then be sure to check them out on the channel as well. And if you can't wait for more new ones to come, then definitely subscribe and turn on that notification bell to stay tuned. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are. See you next video, and this is Avault, signing out.